If it's your first time traveling to Italy, these are a couple of things that you need to know. Let's begin with packing. I know you heard this 1,000 times, but it cannot be emphasized enough. Pack light. You will have to carry your luggage through stairs and walk a lot to get to places. Just to give you an example, when you arrive here in Lucca, you will start your walk from outside the wall probably. You will have to make your way to find your Airbnb or hotel. You have to understand that in many cities, taxis are not allowed in the center of the city. So they have to leave you outside a certain perimeter and you will have to make your way to your accommodation. When it comes to storing your bag, there are several options at train stations, but that is something that varies from place to place, so you will have to check what are the options. Continuing with packing, and this one is very important, comfortable shoes. Unless you're coming to a wedding or some type of event that you require to wear high heels, the best advice is not to bring heels. The streets are uneven and you will walk everywhere. First-time visitors underestimate the distances that they have to walk and they end up in a lot of pain and it could ruin your vacation. If you are coming in the summer, you will probably encounter extreme hot weather. If you're from the US, I don't care if you're from Arizona, Texas, or Florida. The heat will hit you different here because they don't have the AC full blast like they do in the US. Also, you will not have that glass full of water and ice in every restaurant or cafe where you stop to have a drink. You will get a cold bottle of water, but if you ask for ice, you will get a couple of cubes. When it comes to water, there are several water fountains that you can refill your bottle of water and no problem. Water is safe to drink here and that's your free option. There is no free refills on water or sodas at restaurants or cafes here. And again, if it is summer, it is important to have a hat, sunglasses, and sunscreen. Now you can find a hat here that you can buy. They're everywhere. You don't need to bring one. This one is very important. When you visit Italy, you will likely visit churches and cathedrals. Make sure you have something to cover your shoulders and that your skirt or pants are at an appropriate length, usually by your knees. These include men, because we've seen, for example, at Vatican City, men that were wearing shorts or tank tops and they were requested to buy something at the gift shop to cover, or they were just turned away. Something else that you need to pack is a power adapter for Italy because the plugs are different, and a power bank to charge your phone. When you're out walking around, you might find it difficult to find places where to plug your phone, so it's better to just have a power bank. Let's move to transportation. If you use local buses and local trains, make sure you validate your ticket. Once you purchase your ticket, you have to validate it in the little machines that are at the train stations or inside the buses. You will see that there are these inspectors and they come in a pack, 3 or 4 people at a time, and they get on the buses and they start asking for tickets. They literally block the exits until they check everybody. And we've seen it. They charge people right there on the spot. They have a machine and we've seen people getting charged 40, 60, and even 100 euros at a time. All depends on the city where you are. If for some reason you rent a car, make sure you find parking outside the city center. Usually there is a sign that says ZTL, and that means Zona Traffico Limitato, which is a limited traffic zone. It's reserved for residents or certain people who has permits. Everything is by license plate. So if you do decide to go into the city center, you will likely have a ticket waiting at home, or you will receive a ticket within a couple of months when you get home. And it's not fun. Make sure you just find a parking lot outside the city center. Have cash on you, some coins, just to use the restroom, because public restrooms are not free. And of course, make sure you use the restroom when you go to a restaurant or a museum. Something that is important is the safety of your passport. There are pickpocketing situations here, especially in the big cities. So make sure you don't wear your bag on the back, like a backpack, wear it in the front. Be mindful, and to give you an example, Scott wears a little bag in the front where he keeps all the important stuff when we are walking around. We can leave you the link below so you can check it out if you're interested. Something that we do is take a picture of our passports when we travel and we email it to ourselves. Also, we use this app called Freeform that is on iPhones, and you can dump pictures and things like that, and it can be shared. So that's a way for both of us to have our pictures or any important documents that we want. When you get to your hotel or Airbnb, they will take a picture of your passport or even scan it, and that is completely normal. Another thing is the city tax. So when you get to a hotel, they might charge you a city tax. It's not a lot, so don't get alarmed, but it's normal to have a small fee added right there on the spot. Let's move on to meals. When it comes to meals, if you're from the US, there are cultural differences that you need to be aware. Breakfast is small. You will have your coffee or cappuccino and a pastry, a croissant, something like that. You will not find the typical American breakfast with eggs and potatoes and all that stuff. That's not a thing here. Also, you will not find the large coffee to walk around, with the cup to go like you do in the States. You might find a Starbucks in the north, but they are not really everywhere like they are in the States. Just to give you an example, we don't have any Starbucks here in Lucca. If you want a regular coffee, make sure to ask for an Americano, which is an espresso. Usually they will give it to you with water on the side so you can pour the water. Another important tip, restaurants are not open all day like they are in the States. Lunch is usually between 12 and 3 p.m. Most restaurants, they close at 3 and they reopen around 7 or 7:30. You might find some places that stay open, but it's very rare. So dinner is going to be later than in the States. If you are hungry between 3 and 7, you have two options. You can go to a pasticceria, which is basically like a cafe/bakery, and you can have a small bite to eat, a coffee or a soda. Your other option would be aperitivo, which usually happens after 5 and is finger food and drinks. And that will keep you until dinner time. Remember, there's no tipping culture here, but there is coperto, which is a setting charge in many places. Moving on, be aware of scams. If somebody offers you a friendship bracelet or to sign a petition, just keep walking. You don't have to interact. If you do decide to interact, just say no thank you and keep walking. Usually those people will try to get money from you after the whole conversation. Also, be aware when you see street art on the ground, be careful. If you happen to touch one of them, they will ask for a lot of money. So just beware. Sometimes those art pieces are stretched out in the middle of the path for people to step on it on purpose. Ask for prices before you buy things if you don't see prices listed, especially around tourist spots, cathedrals, things like that. And it has to do with anything from restaurants to gelato. And last thing is, if you are coming in the summer, be aware that it's going to be crowded. It could get crazy, so make sure you book things in advance and go through the official sites. This is a personal advice. Don't try to cram the entire country in 2 weeks. Italy is like a museum of a country, so there's a lot of things to see, and it could be overwhelming and you will get exhausted trying to see everything in 2 weeks. So maybe you are better off taking advantage of the region where you are and seeing more things that are around the tourist spots where you are. Now, if you want to see how different it is to rent an apartment in Italy, watch this video. See you next time.